Hello, welcome back. I'm Alfred Lambremont Weber with a newsinsideout.com 2016 news update. Andrew D. Basiago, time travel pre-identified U.S. president, releases 100 proposals, a new agenda for a new America in truth, reform, and innovation, proposes global teleportation system. This is the first of a series of articles and commentary on the 100 proposals of U.S. presidential candidate, former chrononaut Andrew D. Basiago. In a March 11, 2016 statement from his campaign headquarters at Charlotte, North Carolina, independent U.S. presidential candidate Andrew D. Basiago, a whistleblower and former U.S. chrononaut and Mars explorer in the U.S. government's top secret teleportation, time travel, and secret space program from the early 1970s to the mid-1980s, released his platform in the form of 100 proposals, easily accessible online at andy2016.com/proposals. Breaking with the addiction of mainstream presidential campaigns to performing for the mainstream media, the new agenda for a new America outreach is to the alternative media like newsinsideout.com, stating, alternative media. The president should shun the mainstream media as incompetent and embrace the alternative media. Tesla Teleportation, a global teleportation system. One of the most visionary and planet-transforming of the 100 proposals is the following proposal in the innovation section, Tesla Teleportation. The president should set as the nation's chief technical goal achieving global teleportation. On his visits teleporting from the year 1971 to a DARPA forward time base in the year 2045, Mr. Basiago has stated he found teleportation to be commonplace in 2045 on Earth, in the year 2045 on Earth. Among the primary requirements of an advanced spacefaring species that has graduated from war and money as two of its social preoccupations is a global teleportation system. This reporter's research has found. Global teleportation eliminates the cost of transportation of people, products, and services and promotes the emergence of an advanced, planetary, peaceful, moneyless society. The 100 proposals, according to his campaign, entitled 100 Proposals, A New Agenda for a New America, are divided into 3 sections that comprise the overarching goals of Andy's campaign for president: truth, reform, and innovation. 17 of the proposals consist of the major elements of the truth presidency that Andy has promised. Fully 53 of the proposals urge reform. 30 of the proposals indicate ways the president can foster innovation in America. Andy has delivered in his 100 proposals what all of the establishment candidates have failed to deliver: a written plan describing the major goals that the candidate will pursue as president. Write-in strategy in 2016 election. As an independent candidate, Mr. Basiago is pursuing a write-in strategy in the 2016 U.S. presidential election, asking all voters to write in his name as president on the ballot. Securing ballot access in all 50 states would cost about $5 million. Mr. Basiago's campaign is securing authorization in all but a handful of states for voters to elect him president by write-in votes. The cost of that is much less. Time travel pre-identified U.S. president. In a December 19, 2015 U.S. presidential 2016 candidacy announcement made on Coast to Coast AM before millions of listeners, Mr. Basiago stated that unlike previous U.S. presidents, Bush, Clinton, Bush Jr., and Obama, all of whom were also identified as future presidents by Project Pegasus and briefed on their destinies, but who then concealed their prior knowledge for political gain, he made a conscious moral decision to make it publicly known that the U.S. government had used secret time travel technology to identify him as a future president. Mr. Basiago's third truth proposal of the 100 proposals is entitled Presidential Honesty. The president should ask living presidents to admit they were given foreknowledge of their destiny, and request the president to ask Presidents Bush Sr., Clinton, Bush Jr., and Obama to, quote, tell the truth to the American people and admit they were given foreknowledge of their presidencies. The story of how all U.S. presidents have been pre-identified by secret U.S. time travel and briefed of their future destiny can be accessed in this exclusive article, Time Travel and Political Control, by Alfred, Lambremont, Webre. And the link to that article is in the news article that you can find in the video description of this video summary. The 100 Proposals, a summary. The agenda for a new America consists of 100 proposals in 3 areas: truth, reform, and innovation. In conversation with this reporter, Mr. Basiago stated that regardless of DARPA CIA time travel pre-identification, a presidential candidate's quality and platform have to be of such excellence as to win the election. If excellence of platform and personal vision are winning qualities, then Mr. Basiago's 2016 platform is a winner. Karen D. Kinnison, communication director of Mr. Basiago's campaign, says, quote, I am overwhelmed by the substance and clarity and quantity of these proposals. They are well composed, educational, enlightening, bold, and very well designed and executed. I have seen nothing of this stature from the other candidates. End of quote. Truth. Notable in the truth area are policies for the disclosure of advanced life-advantaging technologies of the U.S. government, declassification of secret time travel technologies, reform of the CIA to, quote, open source intelligence, a pardon and Presidential Medal of Freedom for Edward Snowden, a live television presidential address ending the ET cover-up, presidential policies for open ET contact, transparency on NASA and the U.S. government's Moon and Mars programs, declassification of the secret space program and secret treaties with ET races, reinvestigation of 9/11 and the missing 2.3 trillion, new geophysical year on cosmic mysteries, protection of Sasquatch under the Endangered Species Act, and government transparency under the Freedom of Information Act. Under reform, the new agenda for a new America proposes that the president lead a global abolition movement to free the world's 27 million slaves. Banking reform, ending predatory practices, banning spraying of chemtrails, dismantling the police state in the U.S. by repealing the Patriot Act and the NDAA, upholding posse comitatus and the Second Amendment, the FEMA camps closed permanently, the defense forces of the U.S. used only to defend the country and prohibiting war crimes and crimes against humanity, economic boycott against barbarous countries, make national the Utah policy of sheltering the homeless in modest apartments and houses, food banks setting up national food banks, distributing expired grocery store food, equal rights for women, ending all foreign aid, banning fluoride in drinking water, protecting the integrity of the human genome, single-payer health insurance, temporary moratorium on immigration, abolishing the Federal Reserve and begin printing United States notes, $100 billion to improve Native American status, moratorium on nuclear power until safe, nutrition and diabetes reform, ending police brutality, constructive engagement with Russia, opposing transhumanism, one half of the defense budget on the peace economy, religious tolerance, medical ethics and the right not to be vaccinated, legalizing drugs and beginning the war on addiction medically, Bill of Rights protections to foreign nationals in the U.S., military justice in U.S. district courts, minimum wage $15, traditional forest fighting and rescinding let burn, protecting Social Security, protection of cetaceans, and many, many others that are accessible at andy2016.com/proposals. Innovation. Setting off this innovation with Tesla Teleportation, the president should set as the nation's chief technical goal achieving global teleportation. Mr. Basiago goes on to propose a series of innovations that will return the U.S. president to being a steward of the planet rather than a facilitator of genocide and ecocide. Mr. Basiago proposes an upgraded electrical grid security against an EMP event, energy independence via solar and wind, cold fusion research, crash efforts to find new energy sources, food security by building desalination plants in California, preparing for the earth changes with disaster planning, minimum guaranteed income for the population, national park safety by creating a person's database for national parks, an end to political parties, and beginning of participatory democracy, a new tax plan based on the one tax, an internet court for online disputes, a subsidy program for primary family caregivers, the UN Security Council to include the Southern Hemisphere, free federal wireless, fast and universal, environmental protection to humans in their environment, federal land use planning in America, the greening of America, Department of Educational digital textbook program, presidential outreach to all foreign heads of state following the inauguration, the Office of Technical Assessment investigation of the computer and software industry, net neutrality for free public internet, space security against space planetary catastrophe, global awakening for a universal human prosperity. The president should build a global awakening so that all humans should wish a universal human prosperity. The police itself should be monitored by technical means. Urban and manufacturing and a technical renewal of cities, renewal of manufacturing, renewal of all technical industries, etc., focusing on a renewal of Detroit, Michigan. Smart filters to eliminate TSA abuse. And now here's one, foster intellectual development via egg consumption. Eat one egg a day if your diet permits it. And the president to shun mainstream media and embrace alternative media. Now, a time travel pre-identified president for 2016, question mark. An evaluation of the 2016 US presidential race from a time travel pre-identification perspective does not yet definitively reveal who may have been pre-identified and briefed by DARPA CIA time travel as to their future destiny as US president winning the 2016 election, as Bush Sr., Clinton, Bush Jr., and Obama were by the evidence. Perhaps future US presidents are not told the year in which they will win. As of this time, of the Republican candidates, Donald Trump appears to be the likely Republican nominee and Hillary Clinton the likely Democratic nominee. Clinton in 2016, question mark. Well, let's see. The leading Democratic contender, Hillary Clinton, is a possibility for having been briefed by DARPA CIA, especially as her husband, Bill Clinton, was reportedly briefed. He was to be a future US president, and it's highly probable that Bill told Hillary as part of their political partnership. Andrew Basiago reports that his father, an official in the secret time travel project, also interacted with Hillary Clinton as part of a time travel informed mission during the summer between her graduation between Wellesley and her first year at Yale Law School. Hillary was 5 years ahead of me and Bill at Yale Law School. This suggests that the interaction between Hillary Clinton and the DARPA CIA time travel program officials may have been more extensive than is known. There are many permutations if Hillary Clinton is the 2016 DARPA CIA time travel pre-identified president as to how Mr. Basiago's 2020 and 2024 campaigns could be structured. A President Clinton may choose to make public the secret US time travel and Mars programs and/or Mars programs, which would make Mr. Basiago a strong, credible candidate for 2020 or 2024, as he would be then vindicated by a public announcement by a US president. This is only one permutation. There are many other possible other permutations that may lead to a Basiago victory in 2020 or 2024 as a pre-identified US president. Now, the wild card, Trump in 2016. Another possible candidate who may have been pre-identified and briefed by DARPA CIA time travel as a future US president is Donald Trump, who in a 2000 Simpsons cartoon was elected to a US presidential term that was a disaster. One could argue that the Simpsons cartoon may have been an Illuminati leak of future information, as in the 1995 Illuminati card deck, where time travel pre-identified information like 9/11, Katrina, and the 2010 BP oil spill are released as, quote, cards, end of quote, in the years before the events happen. No other witness has come forward yet to link Donald Trump to the secret time travel program. Incidentally, 9/11, Katrina, and the 2010 BP oil spill have all been exposed by News Inside Out as false flag events. So Donald Trump may be a false flag event. We don't know. As of Friday, March 11, 2016, a Trump rally in Chicago, Illinois, was shut down by protesters. If in fact Donald Trump is the DARPA CIA time travel pre-identified president elected in 2016, Mr. Basiago's 100 points would in 2020 provide a working infrastructure and platform to revive the USA from the severe international and internal strains it will suffer during a 2016 Trump presidency. Andrew D. Basiago's 100 proposals would make Andrew, or Andy, as he prefers, a contender to be the president elected in November 2020 or 2024. After 4 or 8 years of Trump, the American people may well be ready for the advanced, visionary nature and yet practicality of the 100 proposals. Asked about this issue, Mr. Basiago replied, quote, Alfred, John F. Kennedy didn't run for president in 1956. Rather, he had his name put in nomination to be the vice presidential running mate of Adlai Stevenson at the Democratic National Convention in 1956, but was defeated by Estes Kefauver. Yet, I think your analogy is quite apt that in 2016, I am positioned relative to 2020 as Kennedy was in 1956 relative to 1960. The 2020 scenario has much to commend it, Mr. Basiago continues. If Trump is elected in 2016, I can begin running against him on January 21st, 2017. Andrew D. Basiago in 2020 to 2024. One or more of the 3 candidates in the 2016 electoral race were briefed by CIA officials on their future destiny as president. One of the 3 candidates is Andrew D. Basiago, who claims to have been so briefed and has just released his 100 proposals for the 2016 presidency. At this stage, it is difficult to visualize, as a practical matter, a 2016 electoral victory via write-in votes for Andrew D. Basiago. However, if we reframe Andrew D. Basiago as a DARPA CIA time travel pre-identified president in 2020 or 2024, then the real-time dynamics become more clear and realistic. Again, to refer to the 100 proposals, please go to andy2016.com/proposals. This is Alfred Lambremont Webre for another comment on News Inside Out's analysis of the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Thank you.